Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Most Search. This is a show where Warren and I talk about the most searched things over the last week. Normally, the things that are trending over Google. But today we have a special wild card. The wild card being Sfiso Masamula, the ex-band member. He used to be in a band called Corporal Punishment.
Are you seriously doing this?
Next topic, guys.
Yeah.
3 people were arrested after being found in possession of an endangered pangolin. Now, these 3 guys were in Rustenburg. Okay. They got a hold of this pangolin and they tried selling it at the Waterfall Mall in Rustenburg. And the provincial organized crime unit obviously followed up on this information and they caught the guys. Now, if you don't know, a pangolin is a scaly anteater.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. And they're highly endangered. They're highly trafficked. Why? Because they're considered a delicacy in China and in Vietnam. I think it is. Yes, it's Vietnam. And according to the Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF,
Yeah,
not
but
the WWF we know.
yeah. Attitude.
They are one of the most trafficked animals, which is a bit of a problem. And just so you guys know how much this thing was going for, if these guys were successful in selling it, they would have made 1.4 million rand.
Wow.
Maybe those prisoners broke out to go catch the pangolin.
Maybe
wasn't one of the conspiracy theories of how the COVID-19 started was that they were eating pangolins? Y'all remember that story?
Wasn't it bats?
I don't know.
No, it was bats, and then suddenly it became pangolins. Like they said the pangolin.
Whether or not that's true, it's completely plausible, but whether or not, again, if that's factual, at the end of the day, a lot of these diseases and things are coming or arising due to the fact that we're eating all sort of things that we haven't been eating for some years and centuries.
But who eats a pangolin other than Chinese
I don't
people?
know. and Vietnamese.
You just collected them all into one group.
Yeah.
And
don't
forget that group.
So just to add another fact, apparently they say 10,000 are trafficked each year, but they said over the last 2 years, it is estimated that 250,000 were tracked illegally. So these poor guys are getting shipped. And just so you know, there's also 7 types of pangolin, different types of sizes as well. So the ones you find in China, and you can see why the others are also being trafficked, because the ones in China are 3.6 kilograms. Okay. So, that's fairly meaty.
That thing is so cute, man. Like, I'm trying to understand.
But listen to this. You get the Chinese one, which is 3.6 kilograms. Then you get the giant one, which is 33 kilograms. So you can see why they're after those bad boys. Then you get the ground pangolin, which is 12 kilograms. Then you get the tree pangolin, which is 1.5 kilograms. The Indian pangolin, which is 13 kilograms. Then you have the Sunda pangolin, which is 4.9 kilograms. And then you have the long-tailed pangolin, which you could argue is somewhat safe because it is the only one, well, it's not the only one, the one along with the tree pangolin that is actually weighs less than the Chinese pangolin. So 2.7 kgs. So, a lot of meat on these guys. And they also use it for medicinal purposes.
Yeah, I know they use the scales.
I was about to say,
Yeah. So,
but that thing is so cute, man. Like, oh, man. Like, why would you now decide? The pangolins are so damn cute. But also Rustenburg. My wife is from Rustenburg, man. And I can tell you all sorts of shit happens there. Like, the story is not. The story is not surprising me. That one, I never knew pangolins could be found anywhere. I never knew we had that. I know we have anteaters. I know we got porcupines. It's the same family, right?
I think it's.
I don't know.
I know we got hedgehogs.
Yeah, hedgehog, porcupine, or similar.
Yeah, they got the same face.
Rodents with the shell stuff. Those rodents, that's the same family. Why the hell would you go for a pangolin? Like, that one serves no purpose. But like you said, medicinal purposes.
I feel like they've tried everything.
Rhinos,
they've tried everything. They would people who want this. They've tried all sorts of different things. on a good day, say whatever the variables were, if they said, oh, I've got some skin rash. Hey, how about we've got leftovers of whatever we've just eaten.
Let me just rub this pangolin liver on your chest.
And on the day, whatever the temperature was might have contributed to it healing. And they were like, hey, it worked that one time, so let's keep using it.
Remember that day you tried the pangolin and the stew? That worked for
on that STD that you had down there.
Remember that? Yeah, remember that STD? You buy some pangolin shit.
It was pangolin. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
It worked.
I think either way it's messed up, regardless. Kind of like the dog situation. That is apparently getting cracked down on, at least that side.
Except no dogs are worth 1.4 million.
Yeah, but it's still stuffed up.
Unless they are.
My point is, regardless of the money, it's messed
but
up.
Also, wait, sorry to interrupt you, Warren, but 1.4 million rand. Who's eating this pangolin? And how many people is it feeding?
It doesn't.
What is it doing for 1.4 million?
I suppose 1.4 million because they're running out of them.
But this just shows you. No. But even so, to be able to afford that, which shows you who's actually using it, who's actually eating it. So we're looking like who can afford it. Politicians in China.
This is some limitless shit.
Yeah, guys who have a lot of money, clearly.
Limitless. I'm telling you, limitless. I remember that movie with Ryan shit. That guy, limitless. like we're dealing with animals now. Fucking viruses and shit. Like, wow.
Well, no. Either way, I think it's
wow.
I think it's stupid. I think with them potentially back in the day, way back when, it was a case of eat for survival. You know what I mean? You got to kill and eat. So eat what you could. Nowadays, I don't think it's necessary, especially for something that's literally shuffling along with these little tiny legs, looking for bloody ants.
Poor little pangolin.
It's not going to do anything to us. For example,
it's pure greed. It's glutton.
It's like we spoke about. It's like the shark fin situation. It's
shark fin.
Not
okay.
Where they would cut the fins off the shark and then throw them back in the water, and then people would eat shark fin soup. So, and the sharks are still alive. So I'm like, that entire situation stuffed up. This would be the same situation. Same as Blood Cove, where they murder all those dolphins. I think it's the dolphins. Yeah, they capture all
does that not happen in like the Northern Europe?
I can't remember where it is, but
it's like your Scandinavian countries.
Yeah, the dolphins come there every year, whatever. Then they put a net around.
Oh no, wait, that's something else. No, sorry. I'm thinking
the dolphins come into a specific cove, and then they put a net behind the cove so they can't get out, and it's basically just like fish in a barrel in a sense. And they just pop them off.
Gigaba and his wife.
Wow.
And banned.
Whoa. So, Warren, what are you saying about people who do this to animals? What do you say? Are you asking why are they doing this, or are you trying to get to a point of it speaks to something about the mind, the fucked up mind?
What I'm saying is, in today's age, right? We have at least the knowledge of certain animals that dogs, dolphins, as an example, that are known as friendly pet type things, and you don't see them as something you'd eat, at least in normal terms.
Right, at least,
what I'm saying is same as this.
Well, you could say Western culture.
Yeah, armadillos, armadillos, pangolins, all those kind of things. In this day and age, it shouldn't be seen as food, if you get what I'm saying, especially with how things are run. We can get access to food. I'm just saying, if you're aware of the fact it's rare, but don't go kill it just in general.
And also to your point though, it's like it's not even the food that's available. It's the abundance of food that we have. Yeah. We have obese people running around because of how much food we have, and you're still out there going after the poor pangolins and the dolphins and the sharks and everything else. Like, there's no need. But again, this is a cultural thing. This is something we would need to get someone in.
I get the cultural part, and that's what I was about to say. That yes, okay, maybe there's a level of thinking that's shaped, by what's happening around you, but do you not try to make sense out of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? You understand? You can make sense out of, we kill cows for burgers. That makes sense.
Just
You understand
burgers.
what I'm saying?
That's it,
We
just
kill
burgers.
cows for burgers. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you're telling me without cows there won't be McDonald's? Oh, that makes sense. You understand? So when it comes to pangolins, like, what are we losing? You understand?
Well,
like, to try to make sense out of it. And dogs.
I'll take it this way. Like I look at it this way. Yes, you're going to get a lot of, if vegan people watch this, they might get upset. But we have a mass production of meat, cows, all that kind of stuff, and we've done it to sustain the need for meat, right? Take the cultural thing with the whole shark fins and so on and so forth. Okay, cultural, fine. We can't exactly argue about culture because that gets into a whole situation. But my point is, if it's a cultural thing and you want the shark fins and you want the pangolins and I'm not saying it's a good thing to do it. I'm just saying set up a system where you are not running them into extinction for a cultural desire.
Abundance from their abundance.
I'm not saying let's make another farm of pangolins where we breed them to murder them. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that kind of concept, if it's a cultural thing, then why go to the extent of almost extinction for something that would more likely run away from you than anything else, kind of like a dog would more likely come to you to be pet, and you end up cracking its neck. You get what I'm saying? So it's like,
hey, that hurts.
Like, I'm just saying I can't understand the Pangolin thingy. So you said the guy got caught. Good. I assume they got in trouble.
There were three guys. One was mid 30s, and then I think the other two were early 40s and mid 40s.
I guess, look,
obviously during COVID, I mean, listen, dude, if I'm not going to lie, if I
I would sell it. I would sell it.
No, during
I don't
COVID,
know what it's for.
If you're desperate.
I don't know what it's for.
Yes, I was
if you're desperate and someone calls you tomorrow and says, hey, so listen, you know that pangolin you told me about the other day? Yeah. You went last year. No, so I won last week. Well, it's worth 1.4 million. If you give it to me,
I'm fetching it.
You know, and that's the problem here.
I get that. What I was going to say is, I guess from my point of view, I'm talking from I don't want to say fortunate's the wrong word, a different side of things where I don't look at that kind of stuff and wonder what if, because I see it as an animal that you should enjoy in the wild to look at than anything else. Because if I want, I'll go to Woolworths and buy something. Look, if I want to get money, I'll go withdraw money, you know. So I understand there's disparages in that situation, and the COVID's made things worse.
It doesn't sound desperate enough for me. I don't know. Sorry to cut you there, Warren. It doesn't sound like 1.4, you're desperate. If I see a pangolin and I'm desperate for cash, dude, I don't have to sell it for 1.4, if you get what I mean. I could sell it for a good 100K. You tell me that even that
people assassinate other people for far less.
Exactly. So a pangolin for what? Exactly. So a pangolin, you know it's worth. You probably might even try to bump up. It probably was worth less. I mean, try to bump it up because you know how much. I'm not desperate. You understand? Yeah. So it's not a desperate. Warren, if you get a pangolin right now, you know how much it's for. You're gonna sell it for what it's worth. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it. I don't know what that pangolin is. I don't know how much it's for. And someone is like, "Hey, man, I'll give you 100K for that." I'd be like, certainly. I don't even know what it's for. Take it. Give me.
You know, there's two things. There's two things to this. There's two things. One is that I actually feel terrible for saying how much this thing is worth because all we're doing is aware of it.
I'll bleep it.
Two. Two. The second thing is
one Zimbabwean dollar. There we go. I'll put that over it. Yeah.
This is the exploitation, or this is capitalism exploiting the poor. Like, this is the finest example of how capitalism can take advantage of the poor. You've got the rich who can flex and pretty much get what they want. You've got them putting poorer people in, you could argue harm's way, even though the true victim here is the pangolin and its families. But at the end of the day, you can then do this to people whether or not they want to, because they're thinking of their families and they're thinking of obviously their livelihood. I mean, that's the real issue here. And your solution, though, Warren, it's completely plausible. And I suppose the next question is then, if we're going to go one step further and we're going to look deeper into this and say, okay, we clearly know it's a cultural thing, and this cultural thing stems historically from your ancestors, which is passed down. So this is still currently being practiced by your ancestors. But how much of this is still being practiced by the guys our age? The Gen Ys, the millennials, now the newer generation. Is this still seen as a thing? Because if not, then your solution saying, okay, cool. Well, if we want to save the world, if we want to listen to Al Gore, prevent it from global warming, forget about endangering and extinction of everything else, then what is the views of the younger population within an Asian culture in terms of preserving these sort of things and somewhat, to your point, still maintaining the cultural heritage, but finding a sustainable way in which we can still feed that need? And I'm saying feed in a literal sense here, but yeah. I think those are the key points.
I think in terms of what you said with the Gen Ys and all that kind of thing, it kind of bounces around because you've got the extremes, right? You've got the extremes of I eat a burger, so I'm one of the worst people around because I don't just eat vegetables, that kind of thing. That kind of extremism in terms of the Gen Ys and that kind of thing. So I think they'll misconstrue a lot of stuff, and they're not even looking at the stuff because it doesn't affect them. If something affects them and how they feel, then it's a problem. The Pangolin walking around being picked up and shipped off to another country means nothing to them because in the end, they're still going to go buy their own food anyway. In terms of the cultural thing you were saying, it links with the Gen Ys and stuff, they're being brought up in that society anyway. So they may see it as, I don't need to eat a pangolin every day. But nonetheless, for celebration purposes, they'll probably still do it. For grandparents, for whatever the case, they'll still probably facilitate that. But then again, it comes down to moderation. We get one for Thanksgiving, quote unquote, but it's not picked up out of the wild. It's a situation of they're being bred for certain things, which again sounds horrible, but that's the only way I can see it. With the Gen Ys, if you look at society now, I say something to Sifiso that is taken, he might not even take it in a bad way at all, but someone next to him hears it, understands it differently. The next thing I'm a racist or I'm something like that. And that's kind of the problem that we currently have with the youngsters. Not youngsters, our generation and lower, is the extremism of your opinion is not valid unless it's my opinion. That's kind of what matches my opinion is a problem. And I think what you're saying with how would society, with the youngsters, change the whole thing of the world is, if you look at it, why are the youngsters protesting and doing everything? Because it's directly affecting them now. Otherwise, nothing would have happened before. Why would they protest about a rhino? That means nothing to them that a rhino got killed. It doesn't affect them. They don't eat rhino.
I'm like that. Look, and this might sound terrible, and I love animals. Hey, God bless Steve Irwin. You know what I mean? But I love animals.
Oh, crikey, really she got a bite. She got a bite from him, mate.
You know what I mean? So yes, what will a pangolin do for me? You understand what I'm saying? Unless I do or I don't. But unless I do understand the cultural significance, I care about rhinos because I care about
South African.
That's literally as far as it goes. But if rhinos were to be, it's like the dodo bird. The dodo bird is extinct, right? And maybe this might sound a bit
because of the melon.
It's a dodo bird noise. I tried. I wouldn't know because it was extinct before we were on, so I don't even know the noise.
Exactly. So I don't know if rhinos become extinct or pangolins in our case. If that ever happens, guys, my battery's running low. I'm so sorry if you guys hear that.
Okay.
I just have to charge it. But what I'm saying is, if rhinos were to be extinct, would my child care? Would it be the same effect as what the dodo bird is an effect on us and all that stuff? So
that's a valid point.
But
what I mean.
That's what I'm saying. That people take some sort of action when it affects.
Hold on, guys. Let me just charge my thing. Sorry, sorry.
Keep going, Warren.
Intermission. What I was saying is, I don't know what's going on. It looks so weird.
Sorry.
That looks so weird.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So no, what I was just saying is that was kind of what I was alluding to is the protests happen or movements happen in a sense when a direct, usually, sometimes they just pushed for stupid reasons, but usually it's when that group, that generation or whatever the case is, that's those people get affected in a way by something, then it changes, then something happens. So with what you, like I said, with what you're saying, with what he's saying is, after this conversation is done, he's not going to think about a Pangolin tomorrow.
I might. That thing is cute.
I'm just
No,
saying,
he might. He might, but if they're not around, his daughter will never.
Yeah, it's what I was
You know
saying.
what I mean?
It's like, take for example the Lion King original and the remake, right? Technically, as much as a lot of the people from the original hated the movie because they felt it stole away the soul of the movie, but if you had to show that to your kid, I'm pretty sure once your kid's able to obviously put it all together, I'm pretty sure your kid would assume it's real to a very large degree.
Okay, I'm a bad example because my child loves Lion King, our version. So
yeah. What I'm just saying is,
but I hear you.
If you put them in front, they would perceive that as legitimate. So the fact that you take them to a real lion, not saying it will diminish the impact of a lion, but it won't be needed because as far as the kid is concerned, that's a real lion. Why do I need to go see one? I've just seen one. Same as National Geographic. I see it on TV, but I don't want to go to the felt to go see one. I've learned about it. And I think that's kind of, until such time as like, oh, well, I don't know how else to word it, but that's how I kind of see it, is until it directly affects you, kind of like if you want to say global warming, suddenly everyone's now looking into trying to fix it. Why? Everyone's being flooded, hurricanes, earthquakes, volcanoes, all that, famine, all that shit's happening. Now suddenly, oh, let's try and sort it out. So until for such time as a pangolin randomly becomes a problem for us, where it directly affects us, like in the food chain, if it's not for pangolins, trees don't grow, as an example. You know what I mean? Pangolin, whatever. I said pangolins. Yeah. So if something comes up that a pangolin is a key factor, like bees are key factors to pollination to create food. So we're trying to save the bees. Why? Because it directly affects us. So as much as I can say, it's stupid that they're killing the pangolins, dolphins, and whatnot.
And for that much, like that thing
it doesn't
worth that much. Like a bee should be worth 1.4.
Yeah, it doesn't directly affect us. So I'm not saying we shouldn't care. I'm saying it's unfortunate because that's not going to change much. They got arrested purely just because it's illegal.